Hello, the sound should be working now. Finally. Oh my days, that was an absolute ordeal and a half to get that sound working. But we are finally here and ready for the game. We are 20 minutes late. Of course, Manchester United now leading 1-0. Do you think that they can hold on to it? Do you think they can hold on to the lead? Or do you think Liverpool are growing into it? As I say that though, Man United are on a promising attack. And I can hear my roommate going absolutely mental upstairs, who is, of course, a Liverpool fan. Not a good time for them at all. Let me just tweet this stream out. Yes, boys. Yes, boys. Manchester United currently on the attack with McTominay, who chips it across. Lovely touch there by Bruno, outside of the foot, who flicks it in early. And it's cleared beautifully by Nathaniel Filipino. Yes, boys, we've got two boys in here. Who are you? Man United fans, Liverpool fans, general football fans in general. Let me know in the chat who you are, who you support, and who you think is going to win this crunch match, being dubbed potentially the biggest game in the English football calendar. It's currently 1-0 to Manchester United. They have so far looked the more dominant side, although it is only 20 minutes in. Hello, hello, we've got three of you in here now. Lovely to see, lovely to see. Do you think Man United will hold off, or do you think Liverpool have what it takes to come back? As Liverpool themselves have a goal kick through the feet of Alisson. Yes, boys, what are you telling me? Who are you? Are you Liverpool fans, Man United fans, football fans in general? Like I said, there was a few issues in getting this stream to start. There was a few technical difficulties, shall we say. But we're here now and we're ready for the action. And potentially a beautiful comeback on the cards. And what a game this is, eh? What a game. Littered with history, rivalry, antipathy. And most importantly, bloodshed rivalry. And a hell of a lot of quality as well. As Mohamed Salah finds himself on the attack. Twists up Luke Shaw. Plays it back to Trent. Can he rekindle the form? What a ball into Jota. And what a brilliant, vital interception there. Wow, that was close. That was close. That was very close. As Rashford now finds himself on the counter-attack. I'm telling you, this game is end-to-end. This is one of the best Man United versus Liverpool games I've seen already. It's only 20 minutes in. But from what I've seen so far, this is looking tasty, it's looking interesting, it's looking exciting, and it's looking like it's on a knife edge at the moment as they replay that Trent Alexander-Arnold cross. Beautifully whips it in. It just bounces right outside the 6-yard box, and Dean Henderson is there to make a vital intercept. Oh! Jota actually got a touch to it, in which it was saved by Dean Henderson. Brilliant ball by Trent, though. Brilliant. He's really turned his season around, hasn't he? He was getting a lot of stick. Just a few months ago even, saying that there's no chance he's going to make it into the England team. But, you know, he started to get some confidence under his belt. One player who hasn't is Diego Jota, who's just fallen over the ball. Not sure what he was going for there, but whatever it was, certainly wasn't the panache required. Lovely ball up again to Trent. Liverpool really spraying the ball around nice here. As he whips it in again. Really, this is going to be the test, though. They have to test Man United's back four without Harry Slabhead Maguire in there. And just, of course, Bailly and Lindelof. it's not going to be the most assured back line there. As look, they're showing Trent Alexander-Arnold's stats: most chances created, most interceptions, most open play crosses, most passes into opposition box, most time possession won, and most tackles won out of anyone in the Liverpool side. This is what I'm talking about. He's really turned it over in the last few months of the season, rather, not few weeks. We got 3 or 4 of you in here now. What are you telling me? Do we have any Man United fans, any Liverpool fans, or are you just all generals? There's Genie Wijnaldum here is on the ball, of course. Spraying it to Nat Phillips. Trying to build something up slowly from the back here, and they've chipped it forward again. It's Mohamed Salah who finds himself in a one-on-one battle with Victor Lindelof, who ends up coming out on top somehow. We'd never have thought that, eh? Oh, have they given a corner? They have given a corner. It's a corner to Liverpool. 1-0 down in the 25th minute. You're a United fan, Jonathan. What are you telling me? Lovely to see you here. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling with your side in general? Obviously, without Harry Maguire. How are you feeling about that? And how do you think you can hold off is the big one. Do you think you can hold off? Do you think you can get this win? Not really too much lying on it as the ball's whipped in for the corner. It's played in. Is that a handball? Is it a penalty? No, it's still scrambling around. Rashford on the attack. And he's given a penalty. He's pointed to the spot. He's given a penalty. Jonathan, you will not be happy about that one, my friend. You will not be happy about that one. I don't think I need to ask your response on that. Nat Phillips is down. I'm not sure what's quite happened here. So Nat Phillips gives it a argy-bargy with Lindelof. Jumps up for the ball. And it looks like it's a handball. Oh, no, it's Wan-Bissaka has just completely two-footed him. What's he doing there? I'm not sure about that one. It's Eric Bailly, not Wan-Bissaka. So he's gone for the ball. Oh, he's got the ball. He's got the ball. That's not one for me. I'm a bit sceptical about Bailly, but I hope we win. A bit sceptical about Bailly as Bailly proceeds to give away a penalty. That timing is uncanny. That is the worst timing I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't know if that's a penalty for me. And that looks outside of the box, first of all. And he's gone for it. He's won the ball. He's won the ball, if you ask me. That's no penalty. That is no penalty. That can't be a penalty. Cannot be a penalty. He's gone to the screen. He has gone to the screen. Slaphead himself, should I say. He's gone to the screen. This is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The anticipation. Is he going to give the penalty? He's looking at the screen now. For me, that's not a penalty. That can't be a penalty for me. But what do you guys think? Is that a penalty from Eric Bailly? First of all, I'm not even sure if Nat Phillips is inside the box. But second of all, it does not look like a penalty to me. It really doesn't. He's looking at it again. No, never. Never a pen. Cannot be a pen. And he's gone back. What's he going to give? What decision is he going to give? Jurgen Klopp grinning menacingly. Jonathan praying. And it looks like he's given no penalty. Or has he? What's going on? He's got the ball poised above Dean Henderson. And he's given the ball to Dean Henderson. It is no penalty. No penalty. Jonathan breathes a sigh of relief. It's a real sigh of relief there. And my headphones, for some reason, are yet to work. Much like Man United's back four doesn't seem like it's yet to work. Yeah. I believe that was every Man United fan on the planet there going crazy. Can they steal an extra goal though? Can they steal a 2-0 lead now? Because it has looked like Liverpool have been growing into the game recently. They have been. They have been. They've really been piling the pressure on. Yeah, they're showing that thing again. Never a penalty from me. But on the counter-attack, Man United, they're looking dangerous here. Oh, Jonathan, what do you think of your chances next year? Do you think that with the right addition, maybe a Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't think he's the right player you should go for personally. I think you should go for another centre-half. And potentially another central midfielder, a holding midfielder that's better than McTominay. And I think you have a really, really good shot next year. But what do you think? Do you think you can perhaps challenge Manchester City next year? And will Liverpool come back and become another face in that battle? As Marcus Rashford's poised outside the area here, chips it in. And it's just about cleared away. Brilliant defending there by Trent. And Man United, I'm feeling a second goal from Man United. The pressure is building. The pressure is palpable. And it just feels like that ball's going to end up in the back of the net, as they do have a corner now. Eric Bailly's coming forward. The man who almost gave away a penalty. Can he get one? I believe we can challenge for titles next year with the few right signings. And I definitely agree with that. I definitely think that this is a very, very talented squad. No matter what people like to say, as the ball's headed across and just over the bar from McTominay. Whatever people say, man, it is a very talented squad. And like you say, if you can keep Cavani for another year, which I believe he did sign the contract extension for another year. If you can improve in areas which are generally a bit weaker, like that holding midfield role for me, maybe another centre-half to partner Maguire, or to replace him with this injury, then I don't see why you can't, because your attack is very frightening as Pogba heads the ball back across the goal, just wide. But on the counter-attack, I mean, you have some of the most exciting forwards in the league. When you got Rashford, Greenwood, Bruno linking up on their day with Cavani in the middle, Ronaldo may be a quick fix, but for long term, I prefer a younger centre forward with an eye for goals, and I would 100% agree with that yet again. Ronaldo, although he'll get you a lot of shirt sales, although in the short term he may get you a couple goals, I think you will have to sacrifice certain parts of your play to fit Ronaldo in, shall we say. And I don't think in the long term it will be worth it. As Juventus have found out, they've had to sacrifice a lot. They've had to pay a hell of a lot of wages and a big transfer fee for him, which has therefore stopped them from being able to invest in other key areas. It's made the whole team revolve around one player, and it hasn't really been so effective for them. So the Cristiano Ronaldo signing, although I'm sure Man United fans would love it, because of course it's your baby, your prodigy child coming home, I don't think it's necessarily the right move going forward, but he could snag a Premier League title for you. But I think with Cavani there, you already have that old quota of a experienced forward going on. And if you can bring a young forward in, like you say, then they can learn from the likes of Cavani. And then with the service of Bruno from in behind, they'll only develop and get better. So that's my opinion, at least. As so far, Liverpool have started to turn the cogs a bit more. But again, on the counter-attack, Man United always look dangerous. Always look dangerous. I know we've got one Man United fan in here, Jonathan. Who are the other two? A couple of Liverpool fans, maybe. Maybe some more Man U fans. Or maybe just some general football fans. As Jota rips a shot, and it's a brilliant save by Dean Henderson. Great stop from the young Englishman. What a save. Do you think, actually, speaking of Dean Henderson, yep, I agree with you. Yep, me and Jonathan, two peas in the same pod. Two intelligent men thinking alike. What do you think of Dean Henderson? Do you think he should start in the Euros? I'm not sure that he should start in the Euros personally. I think for me that it has to be Jordan Pickford for me. It cannot be Dean Henderson for me, as the ball's whipped in for the corner. It's punched away by Dean Henderson. It's ripped back across. It's Nat Phillips edge of the area. Nat Phillips still on the ball in the box. Drills it across, and Diego Jota. What a finish, son. Beautiful back heel. Beautiful. Speaking of Ronaldo, Ronaldo chops it into the back of the net. It is 1-1, all to play for. What a ball in by Nat Phillips there. And what a finish by Diego Jota. What a flick on. That is fantastic. Gets another look at it. Nat Phillips takes his time, keeps himself calm. Diego Jota is onside, and what a flick that is. Reactions, anticipation, lightning thinking speed, and what a finish. The ball comes across, the deft flick. Oh, simply sensational from Diogo Jota. Simply sensational. Oh, and they're on the attack again here. Mohamed Salah squares it across. And Diogo Jota can't quite get it that time. He's still on the ball now. Liverpool really looking dangerous here. Jonathan, I'm guessing there's bricks falling out of Uranus as we speak here. As there would be from mine if my team were going up against this right now. But they are on the counter-attack through Paul Pogba. And that's lazy. That's sloppy from Pogba there. Very, very sloppy. Lethargic. He's not even running back. He's jogging back. Paul Pogba, what are you doing? Firmino, that is very poor there. Firmino gets the ball on the edge of the area, rips a shot straight off. Could have passed it to Salah. This game is really, really kicking into action right now. Wow. As they show again a poor pass from Salah. And yes, Jonathan is heartbroken right now. But hey, there's still a lot of time to go. There's still 10 minutes left in the half. And there's still a second half of football still to go. So you're not out of it yet. It's just like you're really, really under the cosh here. You just got to weather the storm. Just weather the storm for 10 minutes. And then you can potentially get into half-time. Potentially recoup, regatherate. Regatherate doesn't even make any sense. Recoup, regather and reconcentrate. And get ready for a second half of football. But for now, you're really under the cosh. But Liverpool haven't looked too lethal up there. With the chances they have got, they've looked sloppy. The final pass hasn't necessarily been on. But pressure-wise, like I like to say, they're currently applying more pressure than an erection in skinny jeans. Man United are trying to do it. They're not quite getting it though. They haven't quite got the Viagra on there. They've currently got about a semi in a pair of joggers. Not quite the hallmark erection in skinny jeans that you are looking for to put the opposition sides under the cosh. But that's not really Man United's style. They're more of a counter-attacking side, which they are showing right now. But what a play by Gini Wijnaldum there. What a piece of play. And why are my headphones so useless? That's my question. We've had a better second half. We've had a better second half all season. So hopefully we can pull a miracle. And that's true. That is very true. Especially when you do concede first. I know you haven't conceded first here. But whenever you guys seem to concede first, or concede in the first half in general, you just turn into prime Barcelona in the second half. I don't know what goes on. McTominay turns into mini Esther. You've got Fred, who somehow turns into a prime Xavi. I don't understand it at all, but you are 100% right there. This is what I mean. It's all to play for still. All to play for. 1-1 draw. Obviously, not too much resting on this game. Not too much at all, except from the fact that you do want to stop Liverpool from being able to make it into the top four, which I don't think they'll really make anyway. But hey, you could do my team a favour. Pretty sure if you find out my team, all Man United fans will switch off right now. But it is, of course, the Mighty Whites. And you could do us a big favour by smashing Liverpool today. I'll tell you that much. As Diogo Jota is on the counter-attack here. Liverpool, he sprays it across to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold plays a terrible ball straight to Dean Henderson. And 2 or 3 options on there. And he goes early, he doesn't look, he's not alert to the situation present. And he just whips it straight into the hands of Dean Henderson. Not good enough for me, but Firmino again on the counter-attack, plays it to Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah now, 5 players around him, gives it back to Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota cuts it in, plays it through, and he's tackled by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Oh, I'm a fool. I am a fool. Why did no one tell me? I haven't updated the scoreboard. It's not 1-0 Man United, it's 1-1. 38th minute on the clock. I will be getting a timer for the second half so you do know what time the game is on, so you can possibly sync your stream together. It's just because I had the technical difficulties in the first half, I didn't manage to start the stream until the 20th minute. So that's why there's no timer for this half. But for the second half, I will assure you there will be a timer there. And hopefully my headphones will work, because it looks like they are fully gone now. It looks like they're fully in the bin. Speaking of Dean, he is a bit overrated for me, but Pickford isn't a first choice option for me. I actually think Dean Henderson overrated. I think that may be a bit harsh. I think, because I don't know how many people really rate him too highly, especially in Man United. I still think a lot of fans do want to keep hold of David De Gea and then use Dean Henderson sparingly, because he does still make a lot of mistakes. He is still young. He is still very raw. But Pickford, for me, I just love him, man. I love Jordan Pickford so much. I think he has to be first choice. Although he makes mistakes for Everton, and although he's not necessarily a creme de la creme keeper, if you look at his Premier League performances, for England, like international players and club players, sometimes it's very different. Sometimes club performances don't translate over to international, and vice versa. Like look at the likes of Emil Heskey and Danny Welbeck. They just always used to turn it on for England. But then you look at the likes of, I don't know, you could say possibly a Wayne Rooney, maybe a Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard always did it, but Frank Lampard, Wayne Rooney, although they were tearing up for their clubs when it came to the big international tournaments, they just didn't seem to deliver so much. So that's what I think about Pickford. I think for England he plays a lot better than necessarily for club. And Dean Henderson, I don't think he's ready yet. And certainly, Pogba lets a shot rip. It's just whistled past the post there. Takes on one. That was a lovely piece of skill from the Frenchman. The ball's played in by Fred. He cuts in on his right-hand side, completely sells the defenders with a little body feint and rips a shot just wide, unfortunately. But yeah, Dean Henderson potentially could come in, but I wouldn't have him above Jordan Pickford for me. And then as for the other geezer, who's Nick Pope, not good enough with the ball at his feet for me. Not good enough with the ball at his feet at all. Nick Pope cannot be anywhere near that England squad for me. For me, it's only Dean Henderson and Jordan Pickford that really have a shout for it. Pope, not good enough, in my personal opinion. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Nick Pope, Dean Henderson and Jordan Pickford? Who would your three be there? The ball is played across. I don't know what Man United are doing right now. Mickey mousing around with the ball at the back. Chips it forward. And it's still on there. Diego Jota's picked up the ball in the edge of the area. Struggling to get past McTominay. McTominay, a.k.a. the Scottish Fernandinho right now. I'd go with Dean because I'm a Man United fan. And that's fair enough. That is fair enough. You always will have allegiances to your club. And a lot of people that aren't Man United fans would go with Dean Henderson. So I don't know if you could even say it's just because of that. I am definitely the exception to the rule of people that think Jordan Pickford should play. Nobody thinks Jordan Pickford should play for England. But for me, like I said before, that's my reasons. And I just really like the guy. But I can 100% see why you'd go for Dean Henderson. And Wan-Bissaka has just absolutely flung Fabinho to the floor there. Jesus. Wait, I'm going to tick. Am I that dumb? That was definitely Wan-Bissaka, right? Okay, yeah. I thought they were trying to tell me it was Eric Bailly again, but they were looking at the penalty. Yeah, not a penalty for me. That is, of course, going to be the talking point of the first half, though, and potentially the game. If Man United do win this, best be sure every single Instagram account you see will be posting that penalty. Should it be a red? Should it be a penalty? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on that. Like I already said, for me, it shouldn't be a penalty. As Luke Shaw is storming forward, trying to steal the lead in the first half for Man United. Trying to take that lead into the first half. Break. Marcus Rashford on the inside of the box. And that is sloppy. Takes it past one, but can't quite get it past Gini Wijnaldum. As Fred now sprays the ball out to Wan-Bissaka, who has a bit of time, bit of space. And he gives it back to McTominay, who whips in. To say it was a world-class ball would be a bit of an understatement there. Anyway, I'd be cheering for the Germans at the Euros, though. I like England. but I love the German play on a good day. I'm Ghanaian, by the way. Ah, okay. Okay, makes sense. This is what I mean about the Premier League, though. This is why it's such a beautiful league. You get fans from all over the globe. In my last stream, I was talking to a guy from New Zealand, a guy from Poland, and a guy from America. Now we've got a guy from Ghana. You know, this is the beauty of the English game. It's seen all over the world. And especially these two clubs, Man United and Liverpool, have a massive following in African and Asian regions. So, what made you choose Man United then? Was there a specific player that you really liked back in the day? Maybe an Eric Cantona, maybe a White, maybe a York, maybe a Cole, who you really grew an affection with. But the German play, you know, as you know, with the Englands and Germans, there's always been a bit of a rivalry there, shall we say. English and Germans, in terms of national football, international football, don't really get along. Let's just say there's a lot of friction, a lot of penalties, shootouts that have happened in the past that have led to that. But they do play some good football, but I think this is perhaps one of the weaker Germany sides. I don't really rate their chances so far, but nobody rated England's chances in the World Cup last tournament, a few years ago. And my screen is going really pixelated. Marcus Rashford's on the attack here. Bruno Fernandes rips a shot off. And oh my day, if you could see my screen right now, I wish I could show you my screen. I wish. I don't know what's going on. There's about 5 pixels. It's about 70 different colours. I can just about see a smudge. As Diego Jota gets the ball, he's harried by Pogba, and now someone's on the floor. If I could see, I'd tell you who's on the floor, but someone is lying on the floor. It looks to be Bruno Fernandes, just because of his ankles and his legs. The bag is around him, but what the hell's going on here, man? What is actually going on? Sky Sports, honestly, you'd think I'm watching some knack stream. I'm literally watching Sky Sports. I'm paying money for Sky Sports, and they're showing me this shower of shite. What is going on, man? Oh my days. It's like an infrared heating system. So if someone could tell me who's coming off the pitch. Like I said, I think it is Bruno Fernandes. Oh, and they finally fixed the picture. Congratulations, Sky. I'm only paying, it only costs people thousands of pounds a year to use Sky subscription services. The least you could do is actually show us the game we're paying for. As Trent stands over the ball, menacing, looks to the left, gives a sharp glaze across the screen, and the hand is put up by Diego Jota. Diego Jota or Trent. It's whipped in by Trent. Trent whips it in. It's Firmino. Back sticks! Roberto Firmino! What a goal! He's headed it in. It is 2-1. They have stolen it right at the end of the first half. What a goal by them. Rooney got me hooked and Ronaldo was just the icing on the cake. This is a really bad time to call that out. For me to read that out at least. And I can definitely see that. Rooney, I mean, what a player he was. But what a player Roberto Firmino is. The ball's ripped in by Trent Alexander-Arnold. It is back sticks and it's nodded in by Roberto Firmino. The Brazilian, well, what would you call him? The Brazilian Emil Heskey at times in front of goal. But what a finish that is as Liverpool steal a 2-1 lead going into half-time. Lovely ball by Trent Alexander-Arnold, like I said. Lovely ball, orgasmic ball. He's whipped in there, perfect weight on it, straight into the danger area. And yeah, Rooney got quite a lot of people hooked. I remember growing up watching Wayne Rooney. Do you remember the Rooney Soccer Skill School? Anyone that saw the Rooney Soccer Skill School, what a throwback that was. Where loads of people came and did loads of football challenges with him. But he was an icon back in the day. I mean, the man scored a hat-trick at his Champions League debut. People forget how good that guy was, how exciting he was to watch at times. I mean, just think about that goal against Newcastle where he's arguing with the referee and he runs forward and just pelts it into the top left-hand corner. Yep, and Jonathan is heartbroken. He's heartbroken. But like I said, still time to go. And when you have been losing in the first half, you have managed to come back in the second half and get the win. And why are my headphones not working, man? This is really, really upsetting me. Oh, it's just so annoying. This is really, really annoying. As it is half time, Liverpool have taken the lead into the half. Oh, the headphones are done. The headphones are completely done. Things you hate to see. Half time, the score is 2-1 to Liverpool. 2-1 to Liverpool. It's been a brilliant game of football so far. It's been edge of your seat action, mouth-watering action at times. And speaking of mouth-watering actions, I do need to go and water my mouth with a lovely drink of water. So I will be back in 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Do not go anywhere, guys. We'll be here for the second half. Jonathan, I better see your face here ready for the second half, because if Manchester United do manage to come back, then I want to see your live reaction now. I want to hear all about the game, all about who you think should be brought on. And you know what, that's it for anyone in here. Let me know who you think could come on and change the game up. And when I am back, I will go through your messages and let's have a great discussion. But I will see you in just a moment's time. That did not work, so I'm just gonna go and get the drink. We are back and ready for action as the teams are in the half-time waiting room. I'm still very, very annoyed that my headphones are not working because I can hear my roommate going crazy upstairs every time Liverpool do something, which is quite annoying. And it's annoying in fact that they just flipping decide to break. Well, what's wrong with them? Do I have any other earphones? That's my question. Actually, I do. Where are my damn AirPods? These will do the job. These will do the job. Hello boys, if you are just joining me, we are getting ready for the second half. It is half time in the game, 2-1 to Liverpool. What do you guys think of the game so far? Who do you think's been the best player? For me, I have to give it to Trent. Pardon me, that is absolutely disgusting. I do apologise. I have to give it to Trent Alexander-Arnold for me. As they're showing Bruno Fernandes's goal there, which I didn't cover before because the stream was not working. Lovely ball in there outside of the foot, and it is flicked into his back of his own net. But for me, Trent Alexander-Arnold has been the best performer so far. He's been putting in dangerous balls all game, and he's looked like the Trent Alexander of old. Maybe the fact that his teammate now has a pregnant girlfriend, maybe that's perking him up. Maybe he's trying to show her who's boss. To anyone that gets that reference, I love you. Well, not I love you, because I don't know who you are, so I can't really love someone I don't know. But I am trying to get my earphones in. Settings. Just so I can't hear. Honestly, you don't know what's going on. Basically, I live with a guy who is a Liverpool fan, Scouser, very passionate Liverpool fan by all accounts, and he is right above me in his room, and he's screaming and kicking the floor every time they win, every time they score. So I do want to get my earphones in so I can block that out, so I don't have any, you know, how should I say, anyone telling me that the goal has gone in before it has. And now my computer is deciding to blow up. I need a certy computer. Let me tell you. And then the stream quality will improve even more. And the only way I'm gonna get that is if this stream grows in size. If we can get more people turning up and having a good conversation with me. And hey, I just love speaking to you guys. I've been having a good chat with my man Jonathan here. Obviously a very passionate Manchester United fan, very passionate German fan by the looks of it as well, from Ghana. I don't know why I'm not managing to get my settings up here. I'm literally typing in settings, clicking on it, and it's because it's already up on the screen. I'm actually an idiot. How do I don't know how I'm meant to connect my AirPods to my Bluetooth. I cannot lie to you. I cannot lie. If anyone knows how to connect AirPods to a computer, let me know now. Because my headphones have just decided they don't want to work. I don't know why, but they've just decided. You know what it is, James? We're packing it in today. And they ain't working either, man. What's going on? What's going on? Does anyone know? Anyone in this chat know? No. Does anyone in this chat know how to connect your AirPods to your computer? Because if anyone does, I would very much appreciate letting me know. Because this is very stressful right now. Well, not stressful. There's a lot more stressful things go on in life than connecting headphones to a computer. But the point still stands. How do for the people tuning in now, like I say, it is half time in the game. If you don't know what's going on, it is 2-1 to Liverpool. They have looked in the ascendancy so far, ever since Man United did take the lead near the beginning of the game. Who do you think's been the best performer? I said for me it's been Trent Alexander-Arnold. You may think a Man United player has been the best performer in this first half. It's all down to opinion. For me, I think Trent's been dangerous. He's looked alert. He's looked sharper than he has in previous games. And his ball distribution has been back to his best. It really has. That ball for Firmino's goal was simply orgasmic. Sublime. He got the connection on the ball to get the affection, to get the protection, which was a lead. How to connect AirPods to a Windows PC. Alright, here we go.
So I'm going to show you how to connect your AirPods.
I do not want that to be loud. Alright. So, what we do here. This is a live tutorial for anyone watching. Alright.
Then you're going to open up the case and just flip it over.
Alright, he's opened up the case.
Now on the back here we have a button. So just hold down on the button for about 3 seconds. At least 3 seconds. And then if you flip it back over, you guys see the light here is blinking. So that means it's in pairing mode. Alright, so now on your PC, the bottom right corner.
Oh. And here we go. We're on. We're on. I can hear sound now. Alright, this is it. This is beautiful. I no longer have to hear the AIDS distractions. What are you guys telling me? Who do you think's going to win this second half? I might put a bet on a Man United comeback, actually. I may put a bet on a Man United comeback. Because I just feel like they could do it. I feel like they can do it. I don't know what it is that's telling me, but something's telling me that they can do it. Maybe it's the fact they're showing me Peter Sheringham scoring. Peter Sheringham? Teddy Sheringham? Jesus, my brain today. Sorry, my brain may not be the sharpest today. Yeah. I've been a bit sleep deprived recently. As always, if you guys are currently enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying the conversation we're having, then a like on the stream would always be appreciated, because that always does help me out. And help me help you. Help me help you, help me help you. All the fans have been dispersed from around the buses. What do you guys think about all these protests getting the game stopped? I know from Ghana, I don't know how well the coverage has been of all this, you know, Super League stuff and all the riots and protests that's been caused over it. Because the media in different countries all have different ways of showing it. So I'm intrigued to know that. But here, what I will say is that it's massive. And if the game would have been cancelled today, I really wouldn't have minded. Because I really do agree with the message that they're going for in getting the Glazers out. I mean, the only way to hurt these people's pockets is by getting games and stuff put off, by getting their merchandise put off, by getting sponsors away from the club. That's the only way you can get to these people. That's the only way you can reach them. That's the only way you can manage to get your club back under your control. Eh? Man United doesn't belong to these frauds that don't know anything about football. It belongs to Jonathan. It belongs to Mark Goldbridge. It belongs to millions of Man United fans around the world. Same thing with Liverpool. It belongs to Abdul. It belongs to Redmen. It belongs to James Redmond. It belongs to all the Liverpool fans around the globe. It doesn't belong to Fenway Sports Group. It doesn't belong to a bunch of frauds that don't know anything about the English game. Here we go, and Jamie Redknapp, what a like-minded individual, doesn't agree it was a penalty either. I'm getting some information through my ears, conflicting information. Roy Keane thinks it was a penalty. That's very interesting. Anthony Taylor and Graham Souness both saying no penalty, but Roy Keane thought it was a penalty. That's interesting. These are just the debates I'm getting on in my ear at the moment, and I'll give those debates to you guys. And here we go. The second half is ready to be kicked off. We are ready to rumble. We are ready to rumble. We are ready to rumble indeed. We're ready to rumble, and let me just get this timer up. Come on. Get the timer up. Get it up. And here we go. We're ready to go. We are ready to rumble. 2 seconds into the 45th minute of the game, into the second half. So if you do see the timer there, that is the seconds. Obviously, there's not going to be a 45 before it, just because of the fact that, like I said, I did miss the timer. But we're ready to rumble in the second half. Fabinho on the ball here. Gives it back to Jota, who gives it straight to Dean Henderson. And if this second half is anything like the first half was, then we are in for a mouth-watering treat. A sumptuous treat, by all accounts. But what do you guys think? I see we've got one viewer in here. Trent Alexander-Arnold plays the ball in. It's cleared away. And McTominay now is on the ball. Alexander-Arnold! Oh! And Bobby Firmino makes it 3-1. And Liverpool are really, really running away with the game right now. 3-1 to the Red Men of Scousland. The ball is given back to Fred, who puts a terrible, terrible ball across there to Trent. Trent plays it in again. Kamikaze defending here. Absolutely kamikaze defending. Diego Jota wins the ball back. Gives it back to Trent again, who rips a shot off. And that is horrible. Horrible, horrible goalkeeping by Dean Henderson there. Horrific goalkeeping. That is really, really poor. Defensively woeful. And Bobby Firmino wheels away in celebration. Salah now with the ball. Gives it back to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold gives it all the way back to Nat Phillips. Playing it around the back here nicely. And yeah, that defence, without Harry Maguire, that defence looks poor. It looks porous, weak. It's crumbling like a digestive in tea right now. Honestly, that defence, I haven't been Harry Maguire's biggest fan, but without him in there right now, without Slabhead marshalling that back four, that defence has looked more open than a 40-year-old hooker's legs. Honestly, it's unbelievable. There's spaces, there's gaps just being exploited at ease there with the slightest bit of pressure, the paper-thin touch of pressure, and it just crumbles like a digestive in a hot mug of tea. And Liverpool are carving their way open with will here, like a steak knife through butter. Wow. Man United, like I said, they've looked dangerous, they've looked lethal on the counter-attack, but their defence, especially in that second half there, that was one of the most kamikaze pieces of defending I've ever seen. Kamikaze defending at its finest. Kamikaze football. Very, very, very poor. This has really done a world of good for Harry Maguire's stock, I'll tell you that much. He's looking more and more like a world-class player as the days go on. as the days go on. What did you guys think of that? Jonathan, if you're still here, you must be having absolute kittens right now. Absolute kittens after watching that. Despicable defending. Absolutely woeful. As Liverpool cruise into a 3-1 lead. Again, Trent Alexander-Arnold at the heart of it. This is what I'm telling you about Trent Alexander-Arnold. This news about Oxlade-Chamberlain's pregnant girlfriend has really got him perked up. I haven't seen him this alive and awake in time. As Jota now on the edge of the area, Bruno Fernandes, Man United are really going to have to hold off here for another 5-10 minutes. Really weather the storm and hopefully get a foothold in the game for themselves. Hopefully get themselves back on the attack of the football. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Liverpool have just looked a different team coming into the second half. Energised, refueled. They've clearly had their G fuel at half time, I'll tell you that much. As Trent plays it straight to Luke Shaw there. I was just gassing up Trent and he proceeds to do that. I mean, not his finest. Not his finest pass there. As Liverpool are now on 60 points as it stands. Just 4 points behind Chelsea with a game in hand. Is the top 4 race on for Liverpool? Can they beat Chelsea to it? Not if Man United have anything to say about it, I'll tell you that much. Because they will, of course, want to stamp it out. Man United doesn't look like they're going to finish anyway apart from second, so there's no jeopardy in it for them. But the joy would be, of course, in stopping what are their second biggest rivals in Liverpool from winning the league. Well, not from winning the league, from getting top 4. I don't know, I'm talking about winning the league. I've lost the plot. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? As Man United spray the ball forward here, Marcus Rashford on the attack. Ooh, that was close. Who played that ball there? Lindelof. What a ball. What a ball. Ah, dodgy touch by Rashford there. It bounces just past Robertson, and that touch by Rashford is not good enough. It's not good enough one bit. That's poor. That's a poor touch. But Rashford was in there. Rashford, again, speaking of England, would you start Rashford for England? Would this guy who's just appeared on the screen, Starboy Mason Greenwood, play for England? And let me tell you about Mason Greenwood, actually. This is what I do really like about Greenwood. Both feet. Both feet. How many times do I have to tell people your left foot should be just as useful as your right foot? There's so many players. There's a plethora of players in the past that I could go through. Robin van Persie, for one. He's the example that always shines out to me. So one-footed. He was so left-footed, it was unbelievable. The amount of chances he got where all he needed to do was wrap his right foot around the ball, whip it into the bottom right-hand corner. And he'd take the extra touch to try and shimmy the ball onto his left, to try and shift the weight across so he could strike on his left. And he'd kill the opportunity every single time he did it. And there's so many players like that. I don't get how you can be a professional footballer and not be two-footed. Like, you're isolating yourself so much. You're limiting yourself by 50%. And I know some of them can still use their right foot, but that's what I do like about Mason Greenwood. He's both-footed, he can go either way. And when you can do that, the defender's always guessing. He's always second-guessing every... Oh, again, I'm very sorry about that. Really second-guessing every single decision they make. Because if they decide to jump in once with a challenge, you can go left, you can go right, you can put it through their legs, you can whip it top ins, you can drill it far post. You increase your opportunity of getting past someone and scoring tenfold. And that is why Mason Greenwood, for me, is going to go all the way to the tippity top. Not quite, not all the way to the tippity top. It's too far to say, too early to say. I don't think he showed Felipe Foden levels of quality so far, but he's definitely a very, very exciting talent. The way he strikes the ball, kind of Van Persie and Bamford-esque. He has a lazy leg the way he hits it, and he just gets such a true strike on the ball. Such a true Geordie of a connection. Meanwhile, you've got some players over here, like Romelu Lukaku, getting a Virgin Wi-Fi connection on the ball. Not quite the Mason Greenwood, you know. There's just some of those players that just look the part. And when, it's hard to say. Like, there's just something like this, their stance, their posture, the way they run, the way they strike a ball. And this is the criticism Raheem Sterling gets a lot, is that he doesn't look the part. He doesn't look like a natural footballer. The way he kicks the ball, the technique is labelled awkward at times. But some of those players, just the way they kick it is so beautiful to the eye. Like Thiago is one of those players on the pitch now. The way he strikes a ball, the way he passes a ball, the way he touches the ball, it's just so deft. It's with so much panache, so much class, he just oozes sauce. And you get some of those players like that. And for me, Mason Greenwood is one of those players. Bruno Fernandes is also one of those players, as he's chipped it up there to nobody. Someone who isn't necessarily one of those players is a Fabinho. And Fabinho is a quality player, but again, he has a bit of a gangly nature. The way he runs up to strike a ball, the way he wraps his foot around it. It just doesn't seem natural. Al natural. And me, I'm an al natural kind of guy, Less of the fake tits, less of the fake lips. Al natural. That's my go for. Meanwhile, this is bloody prostitution football here from Man United. This is really risky, the way they're passing it around the back. And that is terrible. Straight to Trent again. Mate, this is prostitution football by Manchester United. They're just there waiting to get fucked. They are gagging for it. The way they're passing around the ball, the back there. It's porous, it's weak, it's slow, it's lethargic. They're inviting the pressure on from Liverpool. They're inviting the rash. And right now, Liverpool are like a rash Manchester United cannot get rid of. They've tried the Sudocrem, they've tried the soothing cream, and that rash is only getting stronger, and it's looking like Liverpool are really, really growing into this game. Sell McTominay, take Rashford off. Rashford off? That's interesting. Who'd you bring on? Mason Greenwood then? Rashford, I don't think that touch wasn't good enough for me. I don't know if I'd take him off because I think he's still got a good eye for a goal, but something does definitely need to change up there. Yeah, Mason Greenwood on. I can't disagree with that. I was just waxing, you probably just missed it, I was just waxing lyrical about Mason Greenwood and the fact that he has 2 feet. And that's such an underrated asset. The way to go either way, it adds so much more dynamism and unpredictability. And Rashford you're right, he hasn't necessarily looked too sharp this game. So I can't disagree with that. As for selling McTominay, I've never been the biggest fan of McTominay. I've heard a lot of Man United fans. My old boss used to call him McShit. That was his nickname for him, McShit. But I can't say anything after he tore my team a new one. Because I used to always say how crap he was. And then he came and just absolutely disintegrated me. I had my boss calling me up after 5 minutes of the game like, you let McShit score twice against you. So I still do have nightmares about that skinhead little geezer. But yeah, you're right. I don't think he's good enough for Manchester United. I don't think he's good enough to win you guys the title next year. I think if you are going to win the title next year, I think you do need to improve your central defensive midfield position. Potentially another winger and another centre-half for me. Especially with Harry Maguire out right now, your defence is looking sloppy. It's looking sloppier than a blowjob from a prostitute. And Fred, man, what kind of ball is that? How Man United fans haven't tried to lynch that guy is unbelievable. And Diego Jota, oh, what a miss. What a miss. That should have been 4-1. That should have been game, set and match. That is a terrible finish by Diego Jota there. And when things like that happen, you just do feel like Man United are going to the game. We don't need another centre-back. We have Phil Jones. I couldn't agree more, mate. Get Phil Jones on, that's all I'm saying. Phil Jones will sort that defence right out. Why don't you just bring Chris Smalling back while you're at it? I mean, Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, what a combination, man. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, Phil Jones. Do you remember when Gareth Southgate said Phil Jones is England's best centre-half? It was like, what, 3 years ago? And I think like Phil Jones had just had a couple of decent performances, and then Gareth Southgate comes out and is like, yeah, I'm definitely going to be starting him in the World Cup. England's best defender, if you ask me. Hasn't necessarily aged too well for him. Phil Jones, Jesus Christ. Phil Jones over Virgil van Dijk. I mean, right now, yeah. But to be honest, I think I'd still rather take Van Dijk with half a leg than Phil Jones. Phil Jones over everyone. I mean, cool, the guy's just... To say he's world class is an understatement. He's no Virgil van Dijk though. Virgil van Dijk over Phil Jones any day of the week. Virgil van Dijk over Maguire. This is the thing, mate. I've cussed Maguire more than anyone. Like, I've said I don't think he's Man United quality. I don't think he's elite quality. And I certainly don't think he's enough quality to necessarily be an England starter. Just because he doesn't fill me with confidence. On the ball, he looks a bit sloppy. Who do you support, Atomic Puppet? Well, you probably will want to click off the stream when you find out. But I am a fan of Leeds United, the Mighty Whites. Which is why I was talking about McTominay earlier. He absolutely carved us, absolutely disintegrated us. And I cannot forget that one bit. I'm of course a fan of football though, which is why I'm watching this game. And there's a lot of times no better game of football than this. And Trent Alexander-Arnold comes through, and a terrible save by the keeper again. That is really, really poor defending there. Oh, to quote the famous Mark Goldbridge, your defence right now is about as much resistance as a poppadom catching a bowling ball. You got destroyed by Fuck off, I don't want to talk about it. That's exactly what my boss told me. He literally called me up, mugging me off about how we got destroyed by McShit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're bringing back Vietnam flashbacks. Oh, man. Oh, I just have images of him knee sliding in front of the camera. Will McShit destroy Liverpool though? I'm sure that's what a lot of Man United fans are crying out for right now. What do you think of Leeds, by the way? Because I know it's more of a rivalry maybe with the older fans, you know. Because we were, of course, out of the league for 16 years. But for me, every Man United fan I seem to know seems to dislike us quite a bit. As there is a change. And McShit is not off. Rashford is not off. But Fred is off for Mason Greenwood. Really throwing the kitchen sink at it by the looks of it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And could this be an inspired change? And Arsenal destroyed you guys. And what do you mean Arsenal? Okay, yeah, they got that 1-4-1 win. Alright, but in the first game, we absolutely carved them a new one, mate. Pepe rattled. Alioski got him sent off beautifully. Gets him triggered. Gets him sent off. Takes a dive to the floor. Don't want to hear it, mate. Arsenal, can't believe it. Chelsea, the one game I actually want Chelsea to win is against Arsenal so we can finish above them. And that happens. And me, I have like, you know, quite a strong feeling towards these London clubs. Because if you can't tell by my voice, I am a Londoner. I'm a Londoner living in Manchester who supports Leeds. So it's quite a mix going on there. So that's why I know quite a lot of Man United fans and Man City fans now. And growing up, I knew a lot of Arsenal, quite a few Tottenham and quite a few Chelsea fans. So I do have kind of those kind of rivalries there. Wouldn't say they destroyed us. But is this an inspired change by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Perhaps going to change the formation of taking Fred off. What do you guys think of that? Do you think it was the right decision to take Fred off? Or would you rather have taken Rashford / McTominay off? I mean, I guess out of the two, you're probably going to want to keep McTominay over Fred because at least he can sit back and just do all the defensive work. But Man United are really piling forward now. Marcus Rashford putting Phillips under pressure. This is better from Rashford. He's looking a bit sharp, a bit quicker. Do Man City have fans? Well, funny you should ask that. When I was growing up in London, I didn't know myself, to be honest, because I don't think I'd met a single Man City fan. But living in Manchester now, I can confirm Manchester City do have fans. They do have fans. I have met quite a few of them. Used to work with a few of them. Granted, more of them were Man United fans in the place I used to work. But in the city, I do see quite a few people walking around with Man City shirts on. Something I never saw, really, while I was in London. And certainly that's something I never saw in my time in Leeds. I did see a geezer walking around with a Man United shirt in Leeds, which I thought, damn, that guy's got some balls on him. Although I get that quite a lot. I remember the first time I was walking down in Manchester with my Leeds shirt on, I was getting the dirtiest looks from everyone. I was absolutely public enemy number one. Yeah, so it's quite risky. I'm probably going to get my head caved in one of these days. And, oh, that's a meaty challenge from Fabinho there. He's just studded Bruno Fernandes in the ankle. That is ruthless. That should get some sort of action there. As the ball's whipped in. 25 minutes to go in the game. Will Man U do it? Do you have confidence, Atomic Puppet? Do you have confidence in your side pulling through? Perhaps Mason Greenwood, the inspiration that you're looking for. The inspiration for the nation. As he plays it through to Cavani. Cavani now just signed his 1-year extension with the club. A player who, speaking of Leeds, we were linked with, but could not afford his astronomical wages. Mason hat-trick. Mason hat-trick. I mean, that would really be a turnout for the books. That would be Arshavin-esque. Remember when he scored 4 goals against Liverpool? It'd be very, very Arshavin-esque if he was to get a hat-trick right now against Liverpool. Arshavin, by the way, what a player he was on his day. I mean, he never really got the love from a lot of people because, he, you know, consistency-wise, he probably wasn't all that. And he wasn't necessarily an elite player, but on his day, he could tear anyone open. Andre Arshavin, very underrated. As Liverpool on the attack here, trying to kill out the game. No, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't, Atomic Puppet. And I'll tell you why. Because we tried to buy him last time. And guess what? Swansea snaked us. They said no. They said, no, actually, mate, you're not having him. He was literally holding the shirt there. Daniel James, Leeds shirt. And they're like, you're not having him. And then he goes and signs for Man U 6 months later. And he's been very, very poor for Man U. Oh, Rashford! Oh, he's done it! Marcus Rashford, you say take him off. He's just dribbled the ball into the back of the net. 3-2, the score. It's really, really kicking off now. Just 1 goal in it. The ball's played through there. It's a dummy by Mason Green, by Bruno. Given to Cavani, plays it on. And it is a sumptuous finish by Marcus Rashford. Lucky goal. It was... I wouldn't say a lucky goal. It was a good play. It was a good play. That was a brilliant finish. Played through. And that is a lovely finish. That is a lovely finish. He's just passed it into the bottom right-hand corner there. That is a lovely finish. And it's all to play for now. 22 minutes to go. 3-2 the score. Oh, this is a really, really exciting game. There's been quite a few of these games that have been quite a damp rubber. But this is just like the cup game between the two. This is really exciting. This has been a great game of football. I'm loving every minute of it. Comeback incoming. Well, potentially. You say get Rashford off. Could Rashford be the guy who scores the hat-trick now? That would be football. To be fair, that's my tactic quite a lot of the time. I got it from my dad. Slag off a player and say how shit he is so that he goes and proves you wrong and scores. As Trent charges forward, rips a shot just over the goalkeeper. It is saved. Not saved. It's just blazed over the bar. But yeah, Man United are growing into the game right now. 22 minutes to go. Still all to play for, of course, with the stoppage time to add on. But yeah, to finish off my point before, Daniel James is simply not good enough. And I do not want to go anywhere near that player anymore. I would take Mason Greenwood off your hands, though. I would take Mason Greenwood off your hands. I would not be a Greenwood off you. But here we go. Can you guys do it? The pressure is really increasing. Like I said, you did have about as much pressure. My streaming software is bugging. My streaming software, sorry, there was a bit of lag there. But you're currently piling the pressure on as Luke Shaw drills one across. Cavani's in there. Cavani flicks it across. Bruno Fernandes, it comes back. Sticks. Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood still. Oh. 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 What a chance. What a chance. Oh. He's scrambling outside there. Mason Greenwood, 2 shots. A lovely block by Nat Phillips in the first place. And then Reece James. Not Reece James. Curtis Jones. What a block. Mason is worth 100 mil. yeah, I don't know about 100 mil. I mean, was that £100 million finish right there? It's still scrambling around the box though. But yeah, 100 mil's a bit, you know. Rafinha. Now, if you're talking Rafinha's worth 100 mil, now you're speaking my language. But I don't know about Mason worth 100 mil. Maybe in a few years. As the ball's whipped in by Rashford, now it's flicked on by Bruno. And Man United are really piling the pressure on here. Really piling it on. What a scramble that was around the goal mouth. What a scramble. But yeah, definitely not 100 mil geezer. Definitely not 100 mil. He could be just a Dan James 2.0. We never know. But Mason on one side. Rafinha on the other side. I mean, that would be quite exciting for Leeds. Perhaps given the option to put him up front. Where do you think Mason Greenwood should play? Do you see his future as a number 9? Or do you see him as a winger? Because obviously you wouldn't really put him above Cavani right now. Because Cavani, wow, what a signing he's been. Then Greenwood whips a shot off. What a signing Cavani's been. But do you think Mason Greenwood has what it takes to become the number 9? Or do you think he should stay on the wing? And they've got a corner now. Not 18 minutes to go. Manchester United with a corner. Like I said, really piling pressure on. Rafinha's worth... Whoa! I will not hear any of that, mate. I will not hear any of that. How have I just seen Mason's worth 100 and Rafinha's worth 20? God, man, that's absolutely crazy talk there. That's great. Get this guy tested. That's what I'm saying. Get this guy tested. That is absolute crazy talk. Yeah. That is wow. In the future, but not now. Liverpool in the attack. Mohamed Salah rips a shot just wide. Nah, that is... mate. The suits will be knocking on your door in an hour, mate. So if you see a knock with the suits with a straight jacket, then don't be surprised, because that is crazy talk. But yeah, like I'm saying, Rafinha, speaking of the guy, he's not really... I don't think he's cut out to be a striker. He's definitely a winger. But do you think Mason can do a job up front? As Liverpool ready 2 changes, Wijnaldum and Jota are off for Curtis Jones and Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane, who himself has admitted that this has been the worst season of his career. Really hasn't been on it right now. But, yeah. 100 mil in the future. But not now, yeah. He could be. Like, at the end of the day, in the future, Mason Greenwood could be worth 200 million. Like I said, the world is at his feet. The world is his oyster, Mason Greenwood. He's got 2 feet. He's lightning quick. He's got a hell of a shot on him. He looks the part. I mean, I love him as a footballing talent. Cavani, lovely pressure there. I've just realised I'm an absolute clown. You meant in the future he can be a striker. And I thought you meant future 100 mil. He could be a future striker. I do agree with that. Mane is a dead baller. This season he has been a dead baller. However, I would not go as far as to say that. I think that's a bit expletive, should we say. I think he has still got something to offer. But he's certainly looking like it right now. Do Man United have something to offer now? Does Paul Pogba have something to offer? I give him 2 years and he'll be better than Mbappe. Wow. Now that is a statement. That could be your Harry Redknapp moment with Frank Lampard. This guy is going to go right to the top. Terrific player. Oh, Mane! Oh! Oh, Mane almost did you up there. That would have been that would have been harsh. Wow, what a challenge by the main man, Dean Henderson. Daniel James over Salah. Now, okay, now that's crazy talk. Now that's crazy talk. All right, Daniel James, he can't even get into your team. I don't want to hear it. Better than Salah. Salah is criminally underrated. Second top goal scorer in the Premier League, man. Like I said, I can hear people cussing Mane right now, but Salah, yet again. Last year, I was always telling people, Salah's better than Mane, Salah's better than Mane. Everyone wanted to disagree with me. He's proven it as Rashford cuts in! Ooh. Lovely cut inside there by Rashford through the legs. He is agile. He looks sharp there. That was quality from Rashford. Like I said, the pressure really starting to increase from Man United here. At first, in the second half, it was looking like a semi and a pair of joggers. Now it's looking like an erection in a pair of joggers. But it's not quite the hallmark of an erection in skinny jeans. That's the pressure you're looking for. Quite now, I'd say it's like you're wearing bootcut jeans. So there's still a lot of pressure there. It's aggravating Liverpool. But it's not quite penetrating through their defence enough. Through the heart of their soul. As the camera pans over to Gareth Southgate in there. Gareth Southgate, a lot of people calling him fraud of the year. For me, I always love him for the way he got us to that semi-final. The way he rocked that waistcoat in style. But here we go, Man United on the attack again. Give it Cavani, they say. Cavani gives it out to Rashford. Rashford has players running on him. Gives it back across and it's Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the box. And is that a handball? Yes, it is. That's a free kick for Man United. Bruno Fernandes ripped a shot there. It looked dangerous. Leeds need a good defence and they can finish mid-table. Mate, we finished mid-table this season. You know? 10th. I think the hate on our defence is really unjustified, if you ask me. I think we've really shown in the second half of the year. We've kept, I believe, more clean sheets than Arsenal. I believe we've kept more clean sheets than Tottenham. And at the end of the day, we have a neutral goal difference of 0, and we've really shored up. We've really shored up at the back there. We kept a clean sheet against you lot. We kept a clean sheet against Burnley after everyone said we were going to have a porous defence after getting smacked by you lot. And I think we can actually finish higher than mid-table. I feel like we can finish easy European finishes with the right signings. I think we need a left back, and I think we need an attacking central midfielder like a Rodrigo de Paul. And I feel like we can really cause an upset next year. I think our defence is good enough. I think with Virgil van Dijk coming through, I think with Llorente really showing what he's got, and Robin Koch just behind him. Who doesn't love a bit of Koch in their side? You need Rob. All right, you're taking the piss now. I'm not having any of this. Rob Holding. Ah, oh, come on, man. The guy's 20. The guy's in his 20s and he looks like he's 50. He runs like he's in his 50s. He's more of a fridge on wheels than Harry Maguire, and that's saying something. Ah, oh, come on, man. Rob Holding, and Brandon Williams. Oh, mate. Why not just get Phil Jones in the mix as well? Rob Holding, Phil Jones, Brandon Williams. I mean, what a defence that would be, eh? No, while we're at it, why don't we just bring Kusnorbo back? And then put Rob Green in goal. You know, just get all the world-class players littered back there. Guaranteed top 4 finish. Brandon Williams, I mean, he started off all right, didn't he? A lot of fans saying he's the future of the position. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of love for Luke Shaw at the time, but then he just really, I guess he kind of got exposed. I think for me, he lacked a bit of pace. His match alertness and IQ wasn't necessarily up to scratch. And then Luke Shaw just really turned it around, didn't he? What a renaissance Luke Shaw has had this year. Leeds can't afford Phil Jones. I don't think anyone could afford Phil Jones, mate. Phil Jones, what a prospect he is. Top player. Heard he's a young future prospect as well. Him and Messi Lingardinho. Actually, speaking of Messi Lingardinho, would you take him back at Man U next year? Or do you think his time's there done? Do you think he needs to move on to, you know, prosper his career? Messi Lingardinho, I mean, that guy, I got a lot of love for that guy, a lot of time for him. The way he turned his career around from being hated by everyone in the media, out of the media, saying he's no chance he's getting into the England squad, and he just completely turned it around. Man, I love to see it. I love to see it. But yeah, no, I don't think we can afford Phil Jones. I think 100% right there. Top 5 young players in the Premier League. Depends how young you're saying. If you're counting 24-year-olds, then Calvin and Rafinha have to be up there. But to avoid all bias, I will just probably ignore Leeds players then. I think for me, the top 2 have to be Foden and Mount. I think Foden's definitely the top. No, sell him. Sell him. Okay, you don't want him in your side. You don't want him. Lingard. Luke Shaw, best left back. Okay, now we're going crazy talk here. I don't think he's Marcelo level. The best left back in the world. I mean, let me just go for the top 5. Below 21. Well, how old's Foden? Foden's gonna turn 21, so Foden's definitely top of the list. How old is Mount? Mount is how old? Mason Mount's 22, so he doesn't quite qualify for it. So Foden definitely first. I'd have to put Mason Greenwood in the top 5 for me. I think Giancarlo Poveda. I think Poveda really shows his stuff. I think he can do something. I think Balogun. I know Florian Balogun hasn't really featured for Arsenal this year, but from what I've seen in the academy, I think Florian Balogun could be a real top prospect. And to finish off the list, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? I like the look of Sam Greenwood, academy player. If you're looking for a player who's featuring more consistently in the Premier League, under 21, maybe Delap from Man City, maybe Delap. But I don't know, it's tough, man, because there's a lot of 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds that are still very young. But for that age, I'd say definitely Foden tops the list, and you'd have to say Foden and Greenwood are definitely the 2 head and shoulders above everyone else. But what about you? Who do you think gets in that list? I think for me the main 3 would be Poveda, Foden, and Greenwood. Is Greenwood even under 21? How old's Greenwood? I presume he's under 21. He's 19. He's 19. Okay, Mason Greenwood's 19. Yeah, Mason Greenwood's in there with me for Phil Foden. I think those 2 are the best under that age. And I think Mason Mount's just a bit too old because he is 22. So if you are including him. Saka! Yo, I completely forgot about Bukayo Saka. Yep, Saka. Saka's how old? How old's Saka? He's 19. Damn, he's young. Damn! Saka! Yeah, Saka and Balogun, 2 cut from the same cloth if you ask me. Bukayo Saka, yeah, he's definitely in the top 5. Bukayo Saka. Saliba, I'm not sure I'd put him top 5. Especially if you're talking in the Premier League. He didn't do anything in the Premier League. Since he's gone back to France, he's been elite. He has been quality since he's gone back to France. And you could say it was really stupid from Arsenal to let him go. Emil Smith-Rowe? Smith-Rowe, I don't think I'd put him in the top 5. Smith-Rowe, I think he's a bit overrated if you ask me. I do like the look of him, but I think for me, I think he is just that tiny bit overrated. I feel like because Arsenal have had so many problems with their squad, they're just putting so much faith and hope into the youngsters that when they do have a good performance, they like to overhype them a bit. But I do think Emil Smith, look, he scored the goal that got Leeds promoted from the Championship. When he stopped West Brom from winning the league. So, I will always love Emil Smith-Rowe. I'll have that goal imprinted in my mind forever. But I don't think you can put him on the same level as Saka and Balogun for me. Personally. And definitely not on the level of Foden and Greenwood. Foden, Greenwood, Saka. I think you've really hit the nail on the head there. And then, like I say, I'd like to give special counts to Mason Mount, but I don't think he's just older. Who? Emil Smith-Rowe. I mean, his movement-wise, he probably is in a way similar to Jack Grealish. I don't think he's got the same kind of panache the way he kicks the ball. I think Jack Grealish is a better dribbler and he's a bit more elegant the way he strikes the ball. I think I'd see Smith Rowe as a bit more of a workhorse. Actually, hang on a sec. How old's Martinelli? Martinelli's 19. That's it. Martinelli's better than both Saka and Balogun and Smith Rowe. Martinelli, I can't believe I completely forgot about him. Martinelli, what a baller he is. He is honestly quality. He is so good, Martinelli. So good. What do you think of him? I mean, next Jack Grealish. I mean, I think Martinelli could be the next, not Neymar. I think he's a different kind of player to Neymar, but definitely the next Mbappe even. I think he's that good. I think the sky is the ceiling for him. I think the sky is the ceiling for him. You don't like Martinelli? You're not a fan of Martinelli? I really like Martinelli, man. I think he's got the competitive edge. It's the same thing I see in Rafinha. It's not all about technique. It's not all about that. It's about your will to win. It's about your mentality, your competitive nature. When you misplace a pass, when you don't score, when something doesn't quite go right, you're so hungry to score. You're so hungry to make a goal. Not better than Saka. I think Saka's got more game time and Saka's definitely more versatile. And how they develop will be very interesting to see. But again, what I'm saying, that you think he's bang average? Wow. I mean, look, fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I strongly disagree with that. I think the ceiling's really the level for him. I mean, I do agree with you that Saka is orgasmic. And he is a really, really exciting prospect. But I don't know, man. I really like his mentality. I like his mentality. And for me, mentality means everything. I mean, look at the likes of Gary Neville. He said it himself. Mentality is 99% of footballers. Like, look at Ravel Morrison, a player you guys had. He was apparently better than Pogba on the ball. He was better than like 99% of the players you had in your academy at the time. But he didn't have the mentality that was required to be a top footballer. So his career ended up petering out. He went to Italy, went all across the globe, but never really did anything. Recently, went to Sheffield United, couldn't even make an impact there. So I think mentality is very underrated for me. But Saka is definitely quality. And it will be interesting to see how these players develop. And for England, how good is this? How good is this that we have so many talents? Saka, Foden, Greenwood, Emil Smith-Rowe potentially, Mason Mount, Patrick Bamford. You know what I mean? Just so many quality players. Name one player you will have from United besides Bruno, Pogba and Rashford. So no Pogba, no Bruno, no Rashford. I mean, you could say Cavani, potentially. But that's not very long term. So for me, I think the obvious answer has to be Mason Greenwood because of the potential. Mason Greenwood I'd have. I think that guy really, the sky is his ceiling. I think he's quality. Luke Shaw, if not him, probably Luke Shaw. Because we do need a new left back. Alioski is of course going over to Galatasaray next year. So I'd have Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw or Greenwood for me. Maybe Donny van de Beek, but I'm not sure how he'd fit into the system because he can't get in there, I think. But a trash manager. England. Look, man, everyone hates on Gareth Southgate and everyone thinks he's this. And I've had my time, so I have a lot of criticism for the way he's laid out the team at times. But I'm willing to give him a crack of the whip because everyone was writing us off last year and he got us to a World Cup semi-final. Whether that was because we had a very easy run, which we did. Whether that was because we have very talented players, which we did. And yeah, sure, a lot of people don't like the way he sets his team up. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for one more year. I'm willing to get behind him. I'm quite an emotional fan like that. And Mohamed Salah's away here. He's blistering down. He's one-on-one. And he's finished it. That is 4-2. That is good night. That is sweet dreams. Mohamed Salah there on the counter-attack. That is GG. Liverpool have sealed the deal. Unfortunate for Man United. I would take Rafinha or Phillips. Yeah, absolutely. Rafinha and Phillips for me are the two best players we have by a country mile. A country mile. Rafinha and Phillips, I pray we can keep hold of them. Rafinha and Phillips definitely are two best players. And Mohamed Salah there, acres of space. Again, to quote the famous Mark Goldbridge, Man United's defence with about as much resistance as a poppadom catching a bowling ball. Crumbling like a digestive in a hot mug of tea there. And Mohamed Salah's there with his steak knife to carve it open like a steak knife through butter. I'm not good enough there. What do you think? Do you think you need a new centre-half looking at this game? Do you think Calvin Phillips, you say Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips would completely change your team up. He would completely change it up. Because defensively, he just does all the defensive work for us. He's so good at intercepting a ball, tracking the midfield runners. And I don't think McTominay is good enough in that position for me. So I feel like with a centre-half and a CDM, you guys could really be a prospect next year. Man United are looking on the ropes right now, though. But, man, I think... What do you think of Tuchel? Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Tuchel is quality. And I said it at the beginning of the year. I said, if Chelsea aren't at least challenging for the league with the squad that they had before, the squad that won the Europa League just 2 years before, and a squad that had £300 million worth of signings in the summer, then there's serious problems there, and Frank Lampard has to go. And this isn't just bias, because I know Leeds fans and Frank Lampard don't get along, but I don't see any joy in a man losing his job. I don't see any joy in that, so I didn't feel like it was right to laugh at him for that. But at the end of the day, there's difference in quality, and Tuchel is a world-class manager, and he's proven it. He's completely assured that defence, and now Chelsea look like potentially Man City's biggest rivals, and like they've potentially replaced Liverpool in that. With a new CDM, we can win the Champions League. I think you need a centre-half as well as a CDM, and potentially another attacker for the Champions League. Champions League, I think, is harder to call than the Premier League, because Champions League, like you say, it's a cup competition, anything can happen, and you are a very good cup side. So potentially, like I say, a CDM and a centre-half, and you could be in business. What do I think of Timo Werner? I think Timo Werner is very profligate at times, misses a lot of big chances, and hasn't been clinical enough. I do still think he has the potential, and maybe it's just the cursed number 9 shirt at Chelsea, which seems to have destroyed a lot of elite prospects, like the likes of Alvaro Morata, the likes of Fernando Torres. And I think he is a bit cursed at the moment, but I do think he's still got the potential. I mean, last year at Leipzig, he was missing a lot of chances, but he's lightning quick. And he's like Cavani in a way. Cavani is one of those players that when he has time to think about what he's going to do, he sometimes messes it up. But when it's instinctive, when everything's instinctive and it's just off the cuff with Timo Werner, he's quality. Like when he takes the ball past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players and slots it in the back of the net, he's quality. And he scores every time. So I think he gets a lot of unwarranted stick, Timo Werner. And it's always easy to laugh at people and make him a meme. The same way Jesse Lingard had it made of him. The same way Alvaro Morata had it made of him. And I don't like to heap hate on him. But like I said, he does need to improve his clinicality. If Chelsea are going to challenge for the league, then he does need to work on his finishing. I mean, I remember Chelsea versus Leeds. The guy literally stopped a shot from going in and then flicked it onto the crossbar. Really, really not good enough from him. But he has the potential, man. And he's lightning quick. He opens a lot of space up for other players as well, which is underrated. And, yeah, I mean, Timo Werner, I mean, I'd take him at Leeds. I'll tell you that much. And I'd take him at most top clubs. But what do you think of him? Rashford comes in here. Can he make it 4-3? Oh. And that's what I mean about both feet there. That's where you need a left foot to score. That's where Mason Greenwood could have scored there. When you're too one-footed, things like that can happen. And that is it. Full time, 4-2 to Liverpool. 4-2 indeed. What a game it was. What a game. It was really, really exciting. One of the better games of the season I've seen so far. One of the better games between the two sides I've seen so far. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I completely agree with. Should have been man of the match. He was playing some dangerous balls around there. He looked good. He looked sharp. He looked alert. And overall, you could say they were well valued for the win because Man United defensively didn't look the best. But on the counter-attack, Man United still looked lethal. And perhaps if Harry Maguire hadn't got himself injured, then it could have really been in there for them. What do you guys think of the game? Do you think that was the right result? It's been lovely speaking to you guys, man. We've got Atomic Puppet in here. If he fixes shooting, then he can be decent. I believe that's talking about Timo Werner. And yeah, 100%, man. If he could just work on his finishing, like Thierry Henry admitted himself, he wasn't necessarily the most natural finisher. But, you know, once he'd worked on that and he'd learned when to shoot exactly, you know, when he did the trick of looking at the goalkeeper, and the second the goalkeeper, like, notched down to make a save, that was when he released the shot. And if Timo Werner can work on that, then he can be literally one of the best players in the Premier League and potentially Golden Boot winner. I think he does have that much potential. But again, poor performance. I mean, yes, defensively very poor, but there were times in that second half where you really looked dangerous, like frighteningly dangerous, really putting them under the cosh at times. But you're right, wasn't probably good enough on the basis of 90 minutes, and Liverpool probably deserved the win. You have secured second place though. He's getting into the right areas. He is getting into the right areas. He is, exactly. He's just not quite... He's not quite finishing it. You know what I mean? He's not quite getting that final ball on there. As Man United are secured second place, there's no way Leicester are going to overtake them now. They just need one more win to secure it. And Liverpool could perhaps squeeze themselves into Europe. Do you guys think that they can do that? They will, of course, need Chelsea to drop some points. Who have looked fucking frightening this side. So probably they won't drop points, but there's always a shot. Like I say, thank you guys all so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. Atomic Puppet, I hope to see you in some more streams in the future. Hey, perhaps you can come along on Saturday for the Leeds United versus Burnley stream. You're always welcome there. Anybody, doesn't matter what club you support, doesn't matter where you're from. I'd love to see you guys all there. Bad momentum going into the final. 100% bad momentum going into the final from Chelsea. And can Man City do it? I've already said I feel like Man City will go into it. Oh, you're talking about the Europa League final. My bad. Bad momentum from Man U. And yes, this Harry Maguire thing could be massive going into that final. However, I do still think you will have enough to beat Villarreal in that final. And for your sake, I hope you do. But anyway, guys, like I said, we've got 4 viewers in here now. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you, Atomic Puppet. I'll give a special shout out to Atomic Puppet and Jonathan Goodzibi. You love it. I will. Well, I'll be happy to see you there, mate. I hope to see you there on Saturday. I'll be looking out specifically for your name. And it's been a pleasure watching it with you guys. It's been lovely to have the back and forth, a bit of banter going there, trying to tell me that Rafinha's only worth 20 mil and Mason Greenwood's worth 100 mil. Absolutely crazy talk. But nonetheless, it's been a pleasure watching it with you guys. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in my next stream coming up. I will be uploading my Leeds preview tomorrow, guys. And I'll see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Bye.